So this is about, it's the last chapter that doesn't have any harmonica playing in it. It's about improving your harmonica with repairs and upgrades. So basically you can either improve your harp if it's out of tune, or you can repair it if it stops playing or breaks in some way. And yeah, I'm just gonna kind of skim through a lot of the specific techniques to fix stuff because there's a lot of them, and there's a lot of, like, for every specific problem that could go wrong in the harmonica, like what to do, which is kind of a lot. So it first tells you about, well, some harmonicas have warranties, so you should know about that. And then you need to gather a lot of tools to before you start. So different kinds of screwdrivers and sandpaper, and depending on the problem, you might need some like toothpicks or tuners or other kind of stuff. And just some advice for any sort of repairs: you're going to want to use tools that are reed safe, so you don't scratch the reeds. So like plastic or wood rather than metal. And then just be really careful with keeping track of all the parts when you take apart your harmonica. And then you're going to want to make small changes and test a lot so you don't permanently mess something up. And you're going to want to plink the reeds, which is whenever you make something to change a reed, you lift it up and then let it back down so it vibrates, so it kind of settles in place, and you can see if it's vibrating freely. And you're going to want to test. So if you're not into fixing a specific problem, something you can just do for any harmonica is you can just disassemble and reassemble it, which can help tighten any screws that may have not been tight enough in the manufacturing process, or may have become loosened, like carrying it around or traveling. You can flex the reeds a little bit, which repositioning the reeds can give you better range or subtlety, finesse. And then you can also use sandpaper to smooth down on the outside, like sharp corners, so that you don't like cut your mouth and are able to play quickly. Then it goes into like all the different possible problems you could have and how to diagnose and fix them. So as in, the note won't play, the note plays, but there's buzzing, there's a high-pitched squeal, too much air to play the note, notes sound weak, it's out of tune, note sticks, or something fell out. And so the vast majority of these problems can be fixed with either setting the reed action, so readjusting the reeds, clearing obstructions from the harp, taking the harmonica apart and putting it back together again, or fixing reeds that are misaligned. So a lot of the problems, like, it could be either of those things for tuning your harmonica. So I don't know if I said that. Like, for the note won't play at all, it could be obstruction, it could be putting it back together again, it could be setting reed actions. So, and it also could, and you have to get a new harmonica. But basically, you can just refer to that if anything goes wrong. So when taking it apart and putting it back together, it's just basically pretty simple. For most harmonicas, you just unscrew it, and then just be very careful about remembering which side is which and where the screws go. Some harps are nailed together and you need to pry it open, or your harmonica repair specialist if you're not comfortable with that. So for clearing obstructions, you're going to want to take the top off and then just be very carefully stick something into the reed holes and kind of wedge it in. But you want to basically just be really careful not to deform the reeds. Fixing reeds that are misaligned, you can just push them up and down. Yeah, and then you can also change the curvature of the reeds so they respond differently to different bending of notes if you're a specific type of player and you want a specific sound from the harmonica. And then Lastly, they talk about tuning your harmonica, which involves actually changing the makeup of the reeds. So going in and either sanding down the reeds to make them shorter and a higher pitch, or by adding something like adding a solder to the or putty to the to make it heavier, or by sanding down the lower part of the bass to make it change the dynamic of how it twangs, will lower the note that is being played. And then they just remind you that, again, you want to make changes very, very slowly, because, you know, if you're sanding down a reed, it can permanently alter the tuning of the harmonica. So with that, you're going to want to either test it against another harmonica that you know is in tune, or get like a a gadget to test the pitch and the tuning. So yeah, that's a short summary of just how to do repairs. Some of the more specific elements of like exactly how to bend. I mean, it goes into like a lot about like how to specifically bend reeds to alter playing shape and stuff like that. But if you have any questions specifically, maybe you can throw them into the comments. But otherwise, that's just a general overview, and maybe a lot of other resources to look at how to fix your harp, and just be careful and go slowly and don't record your process. So yeah.